Hi, hello, and good day to all you sorcerers out there. I'm imashbuttons here, and after a lengthy break, we are finally back with yet another JJK chapter review, this time for chapter 262.5. The point 5 is because it's the second half of the last chapter we received before the manga went on break. Gonna preface this video by saying I'm putting zero effort into editing this time around since I'm a little late getting the review out. I recently had a birthday, and all the celebrating threw me off super hard, and besides, I've said plenty of times that this isn't the channel for fancy editing, just pure discussion really. Anyway, the wait for this chapter sure was grueling for me personally, but thankfully we made it and we're back to being able to enjoy our weekly dose of pain. Honestly, that long break made me realize just how much this series has woven itself into the very structure of my life. Leaks usually happen near the end of my work week, and I get to go into the weekend with JJK fresh on the brain, and I seriously wouldn't have it any other way. Moving on to the actual chapter itself, chapter 262.5 begins where the last chapter left off, and we see Sukuna and Yuta duking it out in a good old-fashioned fistfight. Amidst the exchange of blows, Yuta realizes that Sukuna hasn't been able to use the world cutting slash since his left arm was lopped off, so outside of domain amplification, the four-armed menace doesn't seem to have a way to get around the limitless technique. On the opposite side of that coin though, Sukuna is well aware of Yuta's curse technique thanks to Kenjaku's big mouth, and realizes that he's locked into only using limitless and nothing else. This is when he remembers Gojo's ace in the hole, hollow purple, and instantly knows that Yuta plans to use it like his teacher did. Not wanting to deal with such a powerful attack in his state, Sukuna immediately interrupts Yuta's chanting by blitzing him and punching him away. But of course, we can't count our heroes out yet, because this is when we get yet another assist from a sorcerer we haven't seen in what feels like forever. Not finished yet, Yuta uses blue to draw in a voice recorder from off-screen where we get the return of the original jobber of this series, Inumaki, as his recorded command of "don't move" causes Sukuna to freeze in place. This surprise tactic catches Sukuna off guard and gives Yuta the time needed to finish the chants and hand signs needed to fire off a hollow purple, and the chapter ends right as he's about to unleash it, and thankfully there will be no break this week. Man, where do I even begin with this chapter? There are a few things I'd definitely like to discuss, so let's just start with the return of Inumaki and get that out of the way first and foremost. I was never an Inumaki fan for real, it's not like I hated him or anything, but honestly there are way better jobbers to be fans of in this series, let's be real here for a second. Jokes aside, it feels like such a weird spot to bring him in to assist in the battle, considering that his freezing plan could have been used in tandem with Higuruma's executioner sword. In a world like this where the heavy hitters have crazy high battle IQs, I refuse to believe that they would just gloss over this potential silver bullet. To be fair though, there is no guarantee that either of them will or will have worked, so I'm not going to harp on it too hard. I do really like seeing Yuta struggle to fully utilize Gojo's body in this fight, and I'm sure that sounds extremely weird to hear, but it gives us some insight into how difficult it was for him to master it. For a character like Yuta who is shown time and time again to be one of the best sorcerers of his time, to see him struggle to even live up to a fraction of his deceased teacher's legacy just further hammers home just how much of a beast Gojo truly was. Because of this and the fact that the chapter tells us we only have 3 minutes left before time is up, I've kind of already made my peace with Yuta's likely death. With everything Sukuna has endured up until this point, I don't see this Hail Mary hollow purple doing its job as intended. Narratively, it would make complete sense as a form of tragic irony. The prodigy losing his life after attempting to quite literally walk in the shoes of his mentor is certainly compelling. Hell, it even makes what Kenjaku said about Yuta not being capable of being the next Gojo even more poignant, and at this point Gege just needs to get it over with. I'm very interested to see what route he'll take with this upcoming chapter, because the next handful of them will probably be a good indicator on if this fight is truly close to ending or not. The chapter was honestly kind of whatever to me this week, since like I said before, I'm not big on Inumaki, so his return didn't do anything for me. On top of that, I fully expect some goofy shit to happen to where Sukuna isn't beaten by eating a hollow purple point blank, because Gege refuses to let him be beaten in any shape or form. Maybe I'm finally starting to experience the same Sukuna fatigue as everyone else in the fandom, who knows. With that, I think that about wraps up my thoughts on this most recent chapter. Should be getting another chapter here in a few days' time, depending on if you read leaks in the early releases. So be on the lookout for my review on that as well. It's felt good staying consistent on the chapter reviews for sure. Until next time though, everyone, be safe and be kind to one another, and I'll see you all in the next video. Peace!